And we're back on another Friday night. SmackDown's over and BroDown starts right now. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and along with me each and every week is the most bitter individual in professional wrestling today,
Yes.
Mr. Vince Russo. How you doing, Vince?
Yes, I'm as bitter as they come, man.
I hear that all the time. He's bitter. He's bitter. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's bitter, and he cries. That's all I hear. That's all I hear.
Cry
You
about
cry?
what?
Yeah.
That's interesting. What do I cry about?
Well, according to some people, you cried in a meeting with Dixie Carter, and
Please, Mac, don't get me started. Mac, you know what happened to me the other day? Because obviously we got to eat sometime, Mac. Because this show is the drizzling shits.
Yes, it is. And Mac, by the way, before he gets underway, let me just mention this too. If you want to be a part of the show, tonight's one of the nights where we'd love to have you get involved because there's not a lot to talk about on tonight's show. So your questions would be welcome into tonight's show. Just leave us a super chat. We'll throw it up on the screen, your comments or your questions, and we'll get to them as fast as we can. Go ahead, Vince. I'm sorry.
Mac, did this ever happen to you? I don't know if this is a thing in ATL where you are. What town you live in again?
I live in a town actually south of Atlanta in a place called Dublin.
Dublin, that's right, Dublin, because we talked about that.
Yep.
Mac, I'm out the other day adding to my 5,000 album collection, and I had to go to the toilet. So I had to walk
to the what now?
Toilet.
The toilet?
Yeah, the toilet. Yeah.
That's a different way. I guess you just pronounce it differently from up north. It's the toilet.
Yeah, the toilet. The toilet.
Hey, does it got an R? You spell that with an R?
Turlet.
Oh, okay. I got you now. Okay.
So I had to walk over to the bookstore to go to the toilet. And it was one of these gimmicks where you had to put a code in. So, Mac, I go in the toilet and I see 5 stalls. No urinals, just 5 stalls, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this is really, really, really odd. So I look at the door just to make sure I'm not in the woman's room. Bro, this is a bathroom that both sexes go in. Yeah. So, Mac, listen to this now. Mac, I swear to you, bro, you ever have, Mac, and I know you have, and you're going to say you haven't, Mac, I know you have.
Well, trust me, I'll say it if I have.
I know you will. Mac, you know when, like, you're just going to freaking explode.
Oh, yes.
And it's a race of time to get to the toilet, and it's almost like the timing is as soon as you pull down, your butt isn't even on the seat, and here it comes.
Yep.
Okay, it was one of those.
Oh no.
Here's the problem, Mac. So I walk in there, and there's these 5 stalls across, and I really can't. Mac, this is so awkward because if it's a guy's bathroom, you're looking down to see if somebody's in. You can't do that if there's girls in there, right? No. So Mac, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm about to explode. Thank God, one of the stalls opens. Mac, one of the hottest chicks I've ever seen walks out of the stall.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Mac, picture this. So, Mac, I'm going to freaking explode. So this hot chick walks out, and I run for her stall. So, Mac, I'm like, I'm going to explode. Like, it's happening. But, Mac, I literally got this hot chick 20 feet away, washing her hands at the sink. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Because the sounds that were going to come out of me were like, forget it. So, Mac, I never experienced this in my life so badly where I had to go so badly, and at the same time, I'm squeezing my ass cheeks. And I'm just like, will you just freaking leave? Just get out of here, right? So then, Mac, finally, I hear the door leave, and she leaves, and she goes out, and I'm like, the sound's coming out of me, bro. It was like the freaking Bronx Zoo, right? But then, Mac, here's the problem. Now you're in there. It smells like high heaven. The sound's coming out of my freaking ass like you've never heard in your life. And people keep coming in. I don't know if it's women. I don't know if it's men. And Mac, you know how weird that is? Because, like, you know, when men come in, we don't give a shit.
No.
But, bro, if women are walking, and what if a woman gets in the stall right next to me, Mac?
Well, suppose you went into the stall where the beautiful woman walked out and it smelled horrible when you walked in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that kind of kills the mystique of the beauty right there.
I swear to God, Mac, I think this is a terrible, terrible idea because, first of all, obviously they can't put cameras in the bathroom. Bro, if you got guys and girls in there and a woman accuses you of something that is absolutely not true, and Mac, how would you feel if your wife is in a bathroom and freaking guys are walking in there?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm too old school for that. There should be a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom. And that's just how it should be. I do not want to see my grandkids and one of my granddaughters walk into a stall, you know, and then have a man right next to her.
It's horrible, man.
Whatsoever.
It's like the most horrible thing. And like, I don't want my wife going in a bath. She don't know who it's horrible, man.
You know, my wife asked me just recently, we're talking about toilets here. My wife just asked me recently, she said she went into a men's restroom because there was no option at this, wherever she had to go at this place. And she went in and she said, why don't they have stalls where, I mean, why is everything so open? Why do you guys just do your business in front of each other? Because the women don't. They get into the stalls. They never doing their business in front of each other.
Yeah, we're animals, man.
Yeah. We're just horrible.
But what a horrible freaking experience, man. Like, really?
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be cool. I would freak out. If it had been me and I walked in and I saw a woman come out of the stall, my heart would have stopped.
And Mac,
I'm in the wrong bathroom.
Because I swear to God, Mike, I got to relate this back to wrestling. And this is a God honest shoot. You know, Mac, you know, working for the three companies, Mac, I worked with hundreds of women. And Mac, I constantly had to go in the locker room. I had to get them for pre-tapes and this and that. And Mac, I was always so freaking careful because you know how that shit go. God forbid I walk in a locker room and a woman's in mid-change. You know what I'm saying? So like I was always so careful and so respective of their space and everything for years and years and years and years. There was never any incidents where I walked in, never, ever, ever. And then I'm walking into this scenario and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Is this going to be the new thing?
No, I'm afraid it is. I've heard more and more people talk about these bathrooms that would be, shared by both sexes. I don't know. I just, if you have a place where people, I don't know. I don't even know if I like the room cut off somewhere where both sexes can go. I don't know. The safety issue in that is a major concern.
It is.
It should be.
Yeah, it absolutely should be, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Let me ask you, since last week, Wrestlepalooza took place. Now, this is going to be this big event. It's going to happen on ESPN, the debut on ESPN. And ESPN themselves, after the event, gave them a rating of a C. Man, that speaks volumes to me, Vince. I mean, for them to come out publicly and say, we give that show a C, they couldn't have liked that show at all.
You know, Mac, a lot of people need to understand and realize the WWE's main partner for years and years and years and years was the USA Network.
Yes.
I was consulting for the USA Network, and I could tell you, Mac, they were in fear of Vince McMahon. They were in fear of the WWE. They never spoke up. The tail was wagging the dog because, let's face it, the Raw was the most popular thing on the network.
Yeah.
But so WWE got very used to having partners like UPN and the USA Network and even Spike for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. They were used to them being up here and the network being down here. Well, we got a little taste of what happened when they went to Fox Sports. We saw what happened. Fox ain't no freaking USA Network. And bro, let me tell you something. ESPN is huge. Netflix is huge. And I'm telling you, bro, I think WWE has this mindset that they actually are bigger than the ESPN and Netflix. And you're not, guys. You're not. And here's what's happening, man. A lot of money is being spent, Mac. Their feet's going to be held to the fire. Mac, can you imagine if ESPN, think about this for a second. This is the difference, guys, between an ESPN and a USA Network. Can you imagine if an ESPN, if the numbers aren't where they want them to be, and they have a creative discussion with Trips or Nick Khan or whoever the hell, and they're wondering, well, why isn't Roman Reigns on the show? Why don't we get Brock Lesnar, and why don't we get this guy? Could you imagine Triple H sitting there and telling ESPN, oh, well, we have a brand split, so they don't appear on your show? Like, can you? They don't. I don't think they understand who they're dealing with, and that's why I think when that C came out, I think they were absolutely shocked. But here's the bottom line. What are they going to do about it, bro? What are they going to do? This company's paying them $1.6 billion. Bro, they're not going to settle for mediocrity. This is ESPN, the leader in sports entertainment, ESPN. They're not going to settle for a freaking shit show, man.
No, in fact, when you go to ESPN and your first match on that network was the snooze fest that we got between Brock Lesnar and John Cena, you took every bit of air that was in that building out. You just sucked it straight out, because I stopped watching. I was watching it live. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I did find I found a place I could watch it, and I was watching it live. And after that first match, I was over with. I cut it off and did not go back until the next day and watch highlights, because I was so put out with how they opened the show and how they killed the fans in the stands. I was done with it.
Yeah. And that doesn't make any sense, bro, because not everybody, anybody who knows how to write a wrestling show, Mac, you know, you've been in the business a long time. That first match is supposed to get people up. Guys, I was at TNA for 10 years. How did every TNA pay-per-view start? With an X Division match. How did Eric Bischoff start a lot of the Nitro shows? With the luchas. Because you want that first match to get the people up and get them all excited, and you do all these high spots, and you set everybody know that's booking 101. That's formatting 101. Like you say, bro, we opened the show with Brock Lesnar destroying John Cena, kids crying in the crowd, and then you got to get these people up all over again? Yep. Does that make any sense?
None. Not when you started that show as hot as it could have been. The audience was ready for a fight, and that's what they expected, and you did not deliver. As a matter of fact, I really what Triple H was doing leading up to Wrestlepalooza, where he was putting over Wrestlepalooza so much, how many big things are going to happen and all these surprises. He seemed to me, when it was all said and done, to be like Tony Khan, over-promising and under-delivering. It just came out bad. The show was not that great. The first match, like I say, and just like you say, to start the show that flat and kill your audience made zero sense. So I had no hope for the rest of the program. Yeah. And there were highlights, some here and there, but overall, it was, for me, a very much a C show.
And Mac, here's the corner they've painted themselves in, and we've been talking about this forever. You keep serving all these masters. Bro, they don't have the time to write a good show. They don't have the time. They just got to churn out content, churn it.
I have a problem with that, Vince, because, I understand that they don't have the time because they got so much content they have to produce. Well, then hire more freaking people to do the job so you can do it right. If you're making all of this money, you should have enough money to hire more people to come in and make the process easier and make it better for the viewer.
Yeah, but Mac, the problem with that is the more people you involve, the longer the process. That's the problem, man. And wrestling isn't cut out for that because you have weekly shows. Because Mac, here's what happens: the more people you add, the more opinions you have to hear, the more pitches you have to hear. And then what happens is everybody's pitching, everybody's got ideas. And what happens is we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to the date. So finally you get to the point of, we just got to put something on paper. And that's what you're seeing.
But that's not fair to the fan
Absolutely
who's watching the
not.
program. I mean, you're shortchanging your fan and knowingly shortchanging the fan.
It's like a freaking baseball owner that doesn't want to spend the money on free agents and bringing players in, and the team sucks. And guess what? The fans don't go to the game. That's the difference. That's the difference in professional sports. If you put a crappy product out there, the fans ain't going to the game.
Damn, Vince, you're such a bitter son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
Just, calm down a little bit there. Traffic Jam. Aleister Black is the best opponent for Cody. What do you think?
Traffic Jam. Listen, I appreciate you 1,000,000%. You're always throwing money at us, and we do appreciate that.
Yes.
Traffic Jam. Are they really going to put Aleister Black over Cody? The answer is no. So what's the point? What's the point? We're going to see Aleister Black against Cody Rhodes, and you already know who's going to come out on top. What's the point? What's the point?
And he also says, by the way, that the botch at the end of tonight's SmackDown was as unreal as it gets. Man, there were several botches at the end.
Well, but he's talking about the 1, 2, 3 botch where you could tell the referee saying, "I'm sorry." Bro, I got to tell you, Mac, you tell me, and I didn't play it back. I only caught it in real time. And
I played it back. As a matter of fact, when you came in the room, I was watching it back to see what happened.
Mac, I only saw it one time through, okay? And my belief is the freaking referee didn't count to 3 because she didn't have her shoulder down. I mean, that's the way it looked to me. If Nia Jax has her shoulder on the mat, that referee is counting to 3. If her shoulder is not on the mat, that referee is not counting to 3. And as soon as she didn't count to 3, Nia said something to her. You could see the ref say, "I'm sorry." But Mac, you watched it back a second time. I didn't. I would assume she didn't count to 3 because the shoulder wasn't on the mat.
My impression was that she didn't count to 3 because I think she was expecting something from Jade to come in at the last minute there. I think there was something extra that was supposed to happen there. That's what I took from it when I went back to watch it. It almost felt like she was expecting Jade to come in and interrupt the count, and she didn't, but she didn't count 3 either. She just kind of stopped herself and like, okay, well, that didn't happen. And that's when I think she said, "Man, I'm sorry." It was just a bad spot. But I mean, Jade, even when you had Nia Jax throw Jade Cargill into those metal steps, Jade Cargill got busted open the hard way. I mean, she was, and I think she's freaking out a little bit about that blood too towards the end there.
Yeah, I think so too. And guys, again, see, here's old bitter Vince. You think I would be all over that? No, I mean, bro, that stuff happens, man. People mess up, mistakes are made, but the referees, I don't know how it is today, but Vince McMahon would have told the referee, even if Tiffy's supposed to go over, if freaking Nia Jax's shoulder is not down, you cannot count to 3. And if her shoulder is down and she's supposed to kick out and she doesn't, that referee's supposed to count the 1, 2, 3. Yep. The heat is never going to be on the referee in that case.
No, anywhere I have ever worked, anywhere in the independents, and it's anywhere that I've ever known, the referee counts. If the shoulders are down, the referee counts. And if you don't make the move when you're supposed to, that's not on the ref. That's on you. He's still got to count the 3 because he's got to maintain, his professional look in the ring and the authority that he's supposed to have and not become a clown in the match, which is kind of what happened towards the end of tonight.
Now, the interesting guy is going to see, make sure you make a note of this, Mac, because I'm way too old and I'll forget. Here's the interesting thing, guys.
I'm the same age. What the mean?
No, you're a couple years younger. Here's the interesting thing, guys. Let's see if that referee is back on SmackDown next week.
Yeah, and I felt so sorry for her because she usually does a great job.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
honestly,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
it was just a bad position.
The reason why I'm telling you guys this is this: if she's not on next week's show, then she effed up, and the talent buried her. Okay, if she is on next week's show, then it definitely was on the talent.
Yep. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You'll probably hear about it somewhere during the week, I would imagine. Yeah. Michael in here saying Aleister Black has taken over for Karrion Kross.
Yeah, and so has Uncle Howdy. Everybody's taking over for Karrion Kross.
Yeah. The Final Signal, member for 5 months, by the way. Congratulations. He's saying, what's up, guys? And let's see. He's got some more in here. Why did they have Javon Evans come out tonight on SmackDown from NXT? This company is ridiculous.
You want to hear something more ridiculous than that Final Signal? I swear to God, Mac, how ridiculous is this? What were you and I talking about just 2 weeks ago? Sami Zayn went 50-50 with John Cena, and we were supposed to believe John Cena was supposed to bring Brock Lesnar. Now this jabron from NXT comes over, who I never heard of, and he goes 50-50 with the guy that went 50-50 with John Cena. So what does that tell you, bro? It tells you that everybody goes 50-50, and that's why nobody's over. That's what it tells you.
I did feel like tonight, and when they mentioned they were in Orlando, I thought, oh, shit, we're going to get a lot of the NXT carryovers here. They're going to come into the show and be a part of it, and they were. But I think it doesn't do them any favors when they bring somebody in like Javon Evans, because just like you, myself, the Final Signal, you're like, who is this cat? You know, I don't know who this is. This is not an A player. This is supposed to be one of your big shows. Why am I seeing him on one of your big shows? Unless he's ready to be on the main roster, he shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also have Johnny Karate. With the amount of money that WWE is charging, the main event shouldn't have been reminiscent of a 2019 AEW Botch Fest. The product feels like a ripoff.
Yeah. Guys, I say that all the time. One of my biggest pet peeves with wrestling, and I'm not going to say wrestling, I'm going to say WWE because I don't watch AEW. One of my biggest pet peeves with WWE is when I watch this show, I'm not watching pros. I worked with pros. I know what pros look like. I know how pros act. And I watch this show, and it's amateur hour. I mean, it really is. You're watching wrestlers that would never be on a roster in major sports, wouldn't be on an NFL roster, an NBA roster, would be in the minor leagues. And here they are. And not only are they on the roster, but they're in the main event. Yes. And I get that feeling all the time. I am not watching pros. I am watching people that want to be professional wrestlers.
And the stars are not on SmackDown. The stars appear on the other programs, which is what we keep going back to, saying the television networks are the partners of for SmackDown, in this case being USA Today. They can't be happy getting the subpar talent when they know there's better talent available in WWE.
Right. But the WWE knows they can get away with it with the USA Network.
Well, that's true. David Duffett, Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view, better than Wrestlepalooza. And I have no idea what that was, so I didn't get to see that. Let's see. I'll make sure I'm not missing anybody here. So we got a bunch of things coming up in here. Let's see, we got that. Wrestlepalooza. There we go. Let's see. And now we're called up Traffic Jam. Bruce, Michael, and Triple H are still there. Issues.
I agree with you 1000%, bro. I agree. You're never going to see a change in this product with the same people there. And then freaking Michael Hayes has the balls to say on Unreal that God gives him this how dare you insult freaking God like that, Michael Hayes? If God is giving you this creative, bro, how freaking dare you insult God like that?
Instagram wrestling historian popping in saying, at New Blood Rising, you confronted Goldberg and told him to get his ass back in the ring. He flipped you off and said, "Fuck you," and walked out of the match. What was the thought process behind this?
Bro, you know what I love about a wrestling historian?
What's
Okay.
that?
He always asks me questions like this. This is 26 years ago. He's asking me what my thought process was 26 years ago.
And you don't even know what you had for breakfast.
Exactly. Wrestling historian, I love you. I wish I could tell you, but I can't tell you what my thought process was 26 years ago.
Well, I mean, if you had to take a shot at it, do you remember this at all? Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember it at all. But everything I did, I wanted to be reality based. Everything I did, I wanted you to believe was real.
How did you get along with Bill Goldberg? Did you two get along creatively at all?
Not
at all. Okay.
Not at all.
But it's like you can tell. Sometimes people probably wonder, why does Mac ask these certain questions? There's a lot of your history with people I don't know, and which is probably good, because I'll say a lot of things honestly, and it's just you get what you get.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Angel saying Randy made Braun and Bronson look small.
Yeah.
And now we can start talking about tonight's show. Can you believe it's about 30 minutes in and we're just now really getting into it? We started the show off tonight on SmackDown with Paul Heyman coming out. And, of course, he's wanting to talk about Brock Lesnar. That brings Cody Rhodes out. Braun and Bronson come out. And finally, as we just mentioned with Angel, Randy came out to help Cody. But it went nowhere. It happened and then it ended. That was it.
I got a new nickname. Everybody's starting to call Triple H the King of Pops, thanks to me, because that's who he is. He's the King of Pops. I mean, we brought in Brock Lesnar for a pop. Where's Brock Lesnar now? Nowhere to be found. I got a new name for Paul Heyman. I'm going forward. I want everybody to start referring to Paul Heyman as this name. I don't know if it's B-Bow or B-Bow. B-Bow. I'm going to say B-Bow because B-Bow, it could be B-B-O. B-Bow is B-B-O-W. So we're going to go by B-B-O-W, Big Bow.
Big Bow. Big Bow Boski.
Yeah, but it stands for something. B-B-O-W stands for something, Mac.
Oh, what's that stand for? Big
Bag O Wind. I am so tired of hearing this freaking guy talk. I swear to God, I could care less. I could care less how much heat I got because the guy's so beloved, even though he ripped off so many wrestlers of tens of thousands of dollars, lied to Vince McMahon, made believe that the CCW was a rebel company when he was on Vince McMahon's payroll and Vince was keeping that thing going. I am so tired of hearing this freaking guy talk. He is the biggest bag o' wind in the history of the wrestling business because Max said it before I even said it. 20 minutes of saying absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bro, Mac, the first 20 minutes of a show are supposed to tie you into that show. We talk about this all the time. That's the theme of the show. That's my hook. That's going to get me interested in watching TV for the next 2 freaking hours. This BBOW is talking for 5 minutes and I want to turn the freaking channel because he has said the same freaking thing for 20 years. It's the same ass promo that goes nowhere. He never bumps. He's not a Lou Albano type where you could bump Lou around. Lou Albano, Bobby Heenan, Classy Freddie Blassie. These guys were wrestlers. So you bump them around. That was part of it. Freaking Albano would stalk around ringside, and when the guy was selling on the ropes, he'd go over and poke him in the eye. They were wrestlers, so they got involved. This freaking guy goes out there and cuts the same promo every single time, bro. I'm sorry. It's nauseating. It's a turnoff. Nothing comes of it. Nothing develops from it. And here's why they put him out there, Mac. This is they do it for the exact reason. Paul, go out there and eat up 20 minutes. That's his instructions.
But if I'm being honest with you, Vince, and you know me, I'm going to be honest. You're a bitter son of a bitch.
No, bro, I'm not bitter. I am just so freaking sick of hearing this guy.
I agree with you.
Bro.
I agree with you with Paul Heyman. A little can go a long way. I do like Heyman. I've said that before on the show. I do like him as somebody on a microphone. He knows how to work the mic.
Hold on for a second. I'm stopping you right there.
Okay.
Because you have to tell me and explain to me what you like about him, because the guy says the same thing, Mac, every time.
That's what I was about to say. A little bit goes a long way with Paul. If you brought Paul out to be that voice box occasionally, it would work. If he comes out every week and repeats the same thing over and over and over again, then it becomes very mundane. It's kind of like Solo Sikoa. He had his video package again tonight that was nothing more than a repeat of what he did last week. And I liked what he did last week, but all they did was repeat it again.
And Mac, here's what they're going to do with that. Here's what they're going to do with that. This is buying them time now. This is going to buy them 5 or 6 weeks now. Every week, he's going to highlight a different guy in the group. Okay, he did it last week and he did it this week. Fine. But Mac, you and I know damn well what's going to happen. So now we're going to go through everybody in the group. Now we're going to bring him back, and they're going to freaking lose week 1. We know, we've seen it a million times. Now, if you're doing this and these guys come back with a new attitude and they're going to dominate, that's fine. They ain't going to do that, Mac. So they're wasting 5 weeks of our time highlighting each person, because as soon as they come back, they're going to be getting beat.
Yeah, because I was thinking just last week when we ended the show, Tall Tonga or whatever his name is, the tallest. What happened to him? Did he get hurt and just disappear, or did they just take him off TV?
I mean,
you got to quit throwing characters on the screen and then taking them off without any explanation whatsoever. Because for a lot of people, it's like, okay, well, hold on. I thought there were like 3 guys in the group, and right now it looks like it's Solo Sikoa and 1 guy. Because every week it's him and 1 guy. It doesn't explain the group really. And so you forget there's an actual group. And maybe it's a small thing, but for me, details like that are important. We also got Street Profits. They went up against, let's see, who was it? Miz and Mello for the #1 contenders. And the Street Profits win the match, and now will be facing the Wyatt 6. Did you get any kind of entertainment out of that whatsoever?
Bro, here's my question to you guys. Seriously, I swear to God, here is my question to you. Nobody gives a shit about Miz or freaking Carmelo Hayes. Nobody gives a shit about them. Okay, period. End of story. Don't even try to argue with me. So what do, Mac? We premiere Levon Evans. Okay, can somebody tell me what the difference is between Levon Evans and Carmelo Hayes? They're the same freaking wrestler, bro. They're the same wrestler. They're black wrestlers. They're African Americans. They're high flyers. They look good. They have no character. They just flashy in the ring, high dives. So we don't care about Carmelo Hayes and it's not Carmelo Hayes' fault. Carmelo Hayes does not write the show. Let's be clear about that. You've given us no reason to bring in Carmelo Hayes. So now we bring in Levon Evans, who is another Carmelo Hayes, who comes in with no story and no character. And guess what? I don't even know if we're going to see this guy again, but if we do see him again, he's another guy on the roster we don't care about.
Yeah, he'll get lost in the mix with everybody else, just like the Motor City Machine Guns and name some of the other ones. We can't even name them because we don't know their names.
Yes.
That's what's happened in the tag division here.
Where Axiom? Where's Axiom? Where's Gargano and his boyfriend? Where are those guys? Like, see, and that's the thing, bro. Mac, I'm telling you, keep your eye on this. They can get away with this shit on the USA Network. Because they got USA Network by the balls. Bro, they ain't going to put this shit on ESPN and Netflix.
No, and I got to be, I know you watch Monday nights. I would imagine that even you believe at least Raw is better than SmackDown. Would you agree with that?
Well, it's just better because the players are better. Yeah, I mean, that's, but the stories aren't.
Yeah, it just for me, it's just like I feel like I'm watching something when I watch Monday nights because there are names on there. You're like, okay, yeah, okay, good name, good name. And tonight, the biggest name we got in reality was Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I mean, what else did you get tonight? You really didn't get much more than that. Let's see. Young Greco is saying, Russo, I was just watching the Monday Night Wars, and you told Vince his product was failing against WCW. It's the same way with Triple H. He doesn't get the product.
Bro, do you know Mac? Mac, let me tell you. So my stories are better than this shit show. Like seriously, like Raju, I'm sorry, man.
You don't care.
We're wasting everybody's time talking about this piece of drizzling shit.
Oh, it was bad.
Mac, I swear to God, I swear to you, this is how it went down. It was a late Friday night. I was the editor of the magazine. I had to go to Vince's office. Vince always did that to you, bro. You had a 1:00 appointment with Vince, and then you would start getting calls from the secretary. 2:00, not ready. 3:00, not ready. 4:00, not ready. 5:00. And bro, you're sitting behind your desk this whole time. Finally, bro, it's a Friday night and it's 6:00. Come up and see Vince now. On a Friday night. I mean that's just routine, right?
Yep.
So Mac, I'll never forget this. I go up on a Friday night and we're talking about the magazine. And I said to him in the nicest way that I could. This is how it all started, Mac. I said to him in the nicest way that I could. By the way, that live wire is a drizzling shits. Just like that. Just like that. Bro, I swear to God, Mac, this is a true story. Think about this. So he go, oh, it is, huh? I said, yeah, Vince, it's the drizzling shits. Mac, oh, you think you can do better? That's what he said to me. Mac, I had never been on TV in my life, ever in my life. So, Mac, what am I going to say? No? I said, yeah, I think I could do better. Yes, Mac, you got to understand too. Mac, I had no intention whatsoever of ever being on television. But I'm certainly not going to say to Vince, oh, no, Vince, I can't do better. I'm telling you they're the drizzling shits. And if I can't do better than the drizzling shits, then what am I, Vince? So, bro, I swear to God, it's 6:00 on a Friday night. You think you could do better? Yeah, I think I could do better. Fine. Be at the freaking studio 8:00 tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
Yeah, bro, I swear to God. 8:00 the next morning, freaking Vic Venom is on Livewire. Now, bro, you got to understand something. This was 100% shoot. We did not go over what was going to be said. And bro, anybody could look up the footage. I said, Mr. McMahon, how could this product be so awful? And I meant every word. If you watch it back and look at the look on Vince's face, but it was like Vince, what was going through Vince's mind was, I can't freaking believe this. Whatever it is,
he's got the cojones to be
is saying that to me on live TV. But bro, we never went over any of that. We never rehearsed any of that. And here's a great thing, Mac. You will love this, right? So then I got on Michael Hayes because I'm like, because he was Doc Hendricks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you going by Doc Hendricks? Everybody knows you're Michael P. Like, bro, the looks these guys, that's why these guys hate me today. That's why these guys absolutely hate me today.
Breaking
right?
that fourth wall early on.
Yeah. So Mac, like, he brings me back the next week. And the freaking Royal Rumble is coming up, right?
Yep.
Mac, they still do things the same exact way today. Back then, everything was so predictable. Everything was so predictable. You knew everything they were going to do. So they came to me and they asked me my Royal Rumble prediction. So I said, well, without a shadow of a doubt, if you're a betting man, I would bet the house on Bret Hart based on the way where they were going. Bro, the show ends. He comes seething at me. Seething. Why would you give a finish? Why would you give the finish of the Royal Rumble away? Why would you do that? What are you trying to do to me? And I looked at him. I said, Vince, nobody told me Bret Hart was winning the Royal Rumble, bro. Watch your own show. It is so predictable that Bret is winning. Nobody told me. I didn't know. Mac, do you know he changed the finish?
Just because of that.
Yes, sirree. He changed.
Wow.
See, that's the problem, Mac. The problem is there's no Vince Russo to Triple H right now. There is you guys can watch the Unreal with the hugs and the resting the heads against each other, and there's no Vince Russo saying to Triple H, "You thought that was a good show tonight? Did you? What was good about it, Trips?"
Who should be saying that to him in the back right now? I mean, who back there should be the one walking up to Triple H going, dude, these shows, look, we got to do something. These suck.
Bro, listen. Bruce Pritchard wants to die in the wrestling business. Michael Hayes wants to die in the wrestling business. Paul Heyman wants to die in the wrestling business. Bro, no guys like that are going to say anything to shake things up. Mac, my approach always was this. Vince McMahon was paying me. His name was on my paycheck. It was my duty, my obligation, my responsibility to tell him what I really thought. And you know why that was my attitude, Mac? Because I owned businesses. And when I had employees working for me, if something wasn't working, I wanted them to tell me. So correct. I carried that over there. Whereas, bro, this show freaking sucks. I know everybody's up your ass, but this show freaking sucks because he was the guy paying me, bro.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much how I would operate and always have. Really, is I've always been. I'm going to tell you what I really think. Now, don't ask me what I think unless you want to know what I really think. Exactly. And that's how I am. And it's the same way the show is. I'm completely honest on this show about things because you're going to get what I really think, and that's just that's what I'm going to give you. Otherwise, why do you have me employed for you? Am I a yes man? Is that what you employed me for? Yeah. Or did you employ me to make the product better? I'm sorry, as a businessman, I want somebody to tell me what needs to be fixed.
Now, are you going to tell me that all the backstage segments tonight with Stephanie Vacour were riveting? Are you going to use the word riveting when describing those backstage segments?
You notice I didn't even really bring her name up into any of those backstage segments because they were all a waste of time. If there was any part of a thread in tonight's show, that may have been it. But it was so bad.
And Mac, you know what I'm saying? They reminded me. They reminded me during the show that she was the U.S. champion, which reminded me you took the belt off of Chelsea Green for. Think about that. What does that tell you? That's the internet wrestling community that are in love with this girl because she's a foreign wrestler. She's a great wrestler. She's in the ring. Meanwhile, Chelsea Green is the only bright freaking light on this show. And you took the belt off of Chelsea to put it on. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. I really don't when it comes to Chelsea Green because that's somebody I do look forward to seeing on Friday nights, and she's probably one of the few that I actually look forward to see. Traffic Jam, Crown Jewel is the most clueless concept in WWE history. You have two champions fighting for a ring. What's the payoff? They need new writers.
I'm no yeeting. I'm no yeeting Traffic Jam because he's missing half the story.
No yeet.
No yeet.
Matt, can we break this down? Can we break this down? Okay. This is Monday Night Raw. Okay.
Yep.
We've got the two champions in the ring. The two champions. And the angle is they're about to have a match. Neither of the belts are involved. Neither of the belts are involved. Here's what's involved. A ring and a trophy that's in Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
Okay. However, this match is not in Saudi Arabia. It's in Perth. So now, bro, keep in mind, bro, you got the two champions and their belts have nothing to do with it. So now I'm like, is there going to be another trophy in Perth? Does Cody have to give the ring? Bro, we're wrestling over a ring, Mac.
I had a problem when they first did this champion versus champion for the ring back in the first one that they did. When you had two champions, both carrying belts, I'm sorry, but the person who wins to me is the overall champion in the entire company. But somehow it's just, no, this is just a weekend thing. They didn't really happen. That's pretty much what has happened. It's like going to Puerto Rico. Some of these matches actually took place in Puerto Rico.
Like when Pat Patterson won the Intercontinental champion in Rio de Janeiro. yeah, exactly, man. Yep.
Brett in here saying Russo is on fire tonight and dropping truth bombs. SmackDown is a horrendous watch. This show was fantastic and way more engaging. And we appreciate that, man.
I'm just being honest with you, Brett. Like I'm just being absolutely honest. Guys, you don't know how many television shows, Mac. I'm being honest with you. Like 10 minutes, the show's off. You know what I mean? Like I'll watch. Okay, I'll read about that. Seems interesting. Bro, if you don't get me in the first 10, 15 minutes, we're done. It's over. So I want people to understand this is about television in general. You're putting this product on my television and you're asking me to watch it. And like I said, guys, there are so many things I watch on Netflix. Mac, 15 minutes in, you lost me, man. You lost me, and I'll go find something else to watch.
I'm still telling you got to pull up Gotham.
Yeah, I will. I will.
I told you about that last week, and I went back and pulled up the very first episode. Let me just go back. I haven't seen this in a while. I'm in the second season now. And this is the second time,
Isn't it amazing, Mac? I swear to God, guys, something is good when you start binge watching it. And Mac, now it's 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. and like you're dying to go to bed, but like I gotta, guys, that's how this show should be written. It's no different. I remember my kids turning me on to Breaking Bad. I could not turn that show off, man.
And do you feel that way about SmackDown? Absolutely not.
Oh, come on, man.
Young Reckless Russo, who will face Cody? So many stars that can push, but they don't. Drew, Fatu, Black, LA Priest, but they'll turn top face Jay heel and push Sami over the others.
Yeah, well, they're turning Jay heel to wrestle. That's your answer right there. They're going to turn. They're literally turning Jay heel after everything they've done with him, Mac, because they don't have an opponent for Cody. That's why they're doing it. So they're going to undo everything they did because their champion has no opponents.
Well, they failed Jay Uso to me because Jay Uso was really coming in hot for a while there, and he got the belt and was the champion. I don't think WWE had a plan for him after he won that belt. I don't think they had any idea what they were going to do, and that's what killed Jay Uso.
Absolutely.
I think it was the writers or the lack of creative that killed Jay Uso. I don't think that's the only thing I think it was.
Yep. And you can see, bro, when you watch that Unreal show, and I think it's the 5th episode, I think they put the blame on Jay Uso and not themselves. And that's the problem, bro. It's never their fault. It's always the talent's fault. It's never their fault.
No. Ronnie Las Vegas, who was the one wrestler who you would point the finger at and say is the representative of what is wrong with WWE? I'm going with Sami Zayn.
I agree with that 1,000%, Ronnie. When he came down to the ring tonight, bro, and they're listing him at 215 pounds. First of all, he doesn't weigh a pound over, I'd say $190. That's everything that's wrong with professional.
I weigh 220. So, I mean,
you're a monster, though, man. You're a freaking monster. Will you stop, Mac? I see the pictures of you. I watched you up in the tree with this. What are you, nuts? What are you nuts
Yeah, man,
that high?
they put me up in a bucket trunk.
Is something wrong with you, man?
Look here, they've been asking me
Really?
about doing a lot of different things. I got one thing I'm gonna be doing later this year, which is a rodeo clown, and I'm gonna go into rodeo.
You're crazy, bro. You're
Ooh,
nuts.
but hey,
I watched you up in that thing with a chainsaw. I'm like, this guy's lost his freaking mind.
I got to tell you, it's like you were talking about a minute ago. Somebody offers you a chance to do TV. You don't say no because it's a new opportunity. You're like, yeah, okay, let's go. First time, let's roll.
I might be saying no, Mac. I might be saying no. Yeah, I might be saying no. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Traffic Jam. I think he's got something else in here. The DX crew is running WWE. I feel bad for Brett. By the way, Bret Hart, what did he say something just recently about Triple H? I think he said he didn't earn the job.
I love Bret saying everything. But Mac, what about this? Wait a minute. We got some things we got to talk about because I'm gonna tell you what's really bad. I'm gonna tell you what was the worst thing on the show.
All right.
First of all, we got Charlotte and Alexa and two more girls we don't know.
Correct.
Nor do we care to know. Nor do we. I'm not interested in either one of these. Bro, how many of these girls? Remember the Whoop Whoop girls? Remember the Carter and Cash, whatever their names are?
Yep.
Bro, we go through freaking women in this company like God knows what. So we see two other girls. I have no idea who they are. Bro, this to me was the biggest problem, Mac. The biggest problem. We make it clear you and I are both Drew McIntyre fans.
Yes.
He's got it all, bro. He's got it all. There's no question about it. Now you put him out in the ring, and now he sounds like he's whining. Bro, let me tell you something. Here's why they are so out of touch with reality. A guy that looks like Drew McIntyre is not going to whine. He's going to be killing people. He's not a whiner. You could put somebody else in a whiner role, not a Drew McIntyre. And I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, now he's sounding like he's whining. And here again, guys, let me make it clear. Drew does not write the show. So Drew is trying to work with the material they're giving him. And again, Mac, here comes Jacob Fatu. Why? Why? And then Triple H is going to tell us about the great storytelling. We got the best storytelling in television. What's the story here, Trips? Why is Jacob Fatu coming out? What is the story?
I am so upset when it comes to Drew McIntyre because you and I have said, and for a long time, when you look at him, there is movie star quality in Drew McIntyre, and he can perform when he needs to. I've seen him do things on backstage segments that sometimes look just as good as anything I've seen in a movie, and they are just placing him wrong in this show to be a whiny little bitch in the ring. Oh, I lost this and I lost that. And to have Nick Aldis come out and Jacob Fatu and basically call him a little crying bitch that, it made him look this big. And he should be one of the top heels in the company.
Guys, I'm just telling you based on experience because I've been there, like I've done that. It gets to the point with these guys. And guys, I'm telling you this because I will never mention names, Mac, because I don't want to bury anybody. But I cannot tell you over the years how many active people on the roster DM me for creative ideas. And then they open up to me. Vince, I go to them with ideas. They never listen, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I'm not bullshitting you. I'd say over the last, I'd say over the last 5 years, a dozen active wrestlers that I've never even freaking worked with. Okay. So guys, I'm telling you this based on experience. They get so deflated and defeated, and they pitch this and they pitch that and they pitch this and they pitch that. You push them to the point of just collecting a paycheck. Yes. I heard from somebody this week, and I'm not going to say who it is. And I said to them, I said, listen, you're better than their writers. And the problem is their writers cannot live up to your level. So their writers are constantly going to pull you down. And I said, this has to be your mindset. You're not going to be in the WWE forever. And when you're not in the WWE forever, your most important thing is going to be your brand. I said, so what your mindset needs to be is every time you're out there, no matter what shit they give you, every time you're out there, get your brand over. It's all about your brand. And that's how you have to look at it, because all of a sudden they're not magically going to become creative and give you some angle that's going to turn you into Stone Cold Steve Austin. That ain't going to happen. You got an
example of that would be Matt Cardona. Would you think?
1,000%.
I mean, 1,000%. Perfect example of somebody who.
Even Mandy Rose. I mean, Mandy Rose is doing the fan only gimmick. Who can, bro? She's making a shitload of money. She is freaking cleaning up over there, and that's what I tell you. It's not all of a sudden going to become good. This is it. That's the company you're working with. You got to worry about your brand.
Before we run out of time here, I do want to get Rowan Curtis off Vermont Avenue in here saying, are botches plentiful in women matches? Because these girls are only good enough to work the diva style, but they're being forced to work the men's style. I think that goes back, Vince, to where the women's division in a lot of ways has gone backwards and not forwards, it seems like, in the last few years. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And again, Mac, like I said earlier, I don't know. It's 3 times more for the women than the men. They just cycle them through. I mean, they just cycle these women through. We see so many of them come and go. And I don't, guys, you got to understand, Mac, I'm sorry if we're taking a little bit of time. I just want to make this clear. You guys got to understand when somebody goes into the performance center, okay, NXT, the Performance Center. Bro, the minute they set foot in the door, money is being invested in them. Bro, you've got people at that Performance Center 2, 3, 4 years, then they bring them up, and then in 3 months, they're gone. Do you know how much time and money they spend on these people in those 3 years? That's an investment. That is an investment. Guys, it's just like with Major League Sports. They got the draft. So, you're going to draft the players you want. Now you're going to invest the money in them and put them in the system. If you are a scout, Mac, and you're putting these people in the system and you're investing money, and these people don't pan out, guess what happens? You're out of a job. Yep. If you scouted somebody and you spent all this money and then all of a sudden, 3 years later, bro, they're never going to make it to they don't have what it takes to make it. Bro, you're fired. You're going to lose your job. That's one of the biggest problems with the WWE, Mac. Nobody's held accountable. Nobody's held accountable.
Do you feel like it happens more with the women than the men?
1,000% for whatever. And I can't tell you why, bro, but for whatever reason, I think it happens way more with the men.
Before we get out of here,
with the women.
$20 donation, by the way, Black Note. We appreciate that. Vince, Pop Money T-shirt is coming.
All right. Okay, Mac.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Mac, you're bearing for action. You're all buttoned down there. I'm seeing your hairy chest. You're ready. Is the wife up?
Man, look.
I like that shirt. I like that shirt a lot.
Yeah, that was given to me to wear on the show, actually.
Is that a flannel?
It's called Demons Behind Me is the company that makes this shirt.
Is it a flannel?
Yeah, it's a flannel. It's called the Incredible Hulk.
Is the wife still up?
No, she went to bed because I promised I was going to take her shopping tomorrow. So she's getting rest.
And you're all revved up with no place to go, Mag. You got the shirt button down to your belly button, and you what are you going to do after this?
All the way down there, man. Anything else about tonight's show you want to talk about that we didn't talk about?
No, it's going to be interesting to hear what happened in that last match, but I don't think it was the ref. I don't. Because again, they're told, either count or don't count, whatever happens.
But as a referee, if you know that that's not the end of the match, there's a part of you that still doesn't want to kill the match by calling the match too early. So a part of her may just freaked out and said, "Oh." Maybe she's never been forced with something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of excuses.
Make sure, Mac, you make a note. Let's see if she's reffing on next week's show, because that's going to tell you where the problem lied.
All right, Vince, where can people find you during the week?
Yeah, guys, if you've never been a member of Russo's brand, I'll give you a free week to try us out, man. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC.
And you can join me at Road Trip After Hours. That's on YouTube. Road Trip After Hours. I do a Thursday night show with Teddy Long live at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope you stop by and join us. But in the meantime, you can find all the stuff that I do, including that, on the YouTube channel at Road Trip After Hours. Just stop by. I'd appreciate it. And that's it for tonight. This has been BroDown. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and that is the most bitter son of a bitch in wrestling today, Mr. Vince Russo. We'll see you next week.